Today we're going to talk about some back-end things of your real estate investing business that you need to know, especially for those who want to go from 1 deal a month to 5 or 10 deals a month and actually grow a real estate investing portfolio. So if that's you, then stick ahead for the show. What's up, guys? It's your boy Sawan Belcher. Today we got one of my best business partners, my mom Molly Belcher, with us, and we're going to go over some of the things that she does in our business that make our back end extremely smooth. Okay, and I hope you guys learn today how you can stay organized, pick up property and actually create cash flow inside of your business, so that way you can grow and scale easily. Really get to the number that you want to get to in 36 months or less. Hey, Mom, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Real quick, tell everybody a little bit about what you do for the company, on a daily basis.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So I primarily do, as we stated, the back end, some of the back end things. So that means payroll, communications with the attorney, paperwork that's needed for the attorney. What else do I do?
Yeah, account management.
Yes.
Yeah. I know a lot of the mortgages.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Managing the property taxes and the property insurance, accounting, anything accounting.
Right.
So basically keeping us organized.
Right. So we can actually run a business.
Yeah, so that we can actually run a business.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
And we're still learning. There's still some processes that learn over time how to make better.
For sure. Because I think at every level is different. I mean, I remember we were trying to get to 10 properties. The things that we were doing then is different than we're doing now.
Absolutely.
Or even when I had a mindset that we're going to do, 15 wholesale deals, a month. That's different than what we're doing now. So at every level, there's something different.
I actually thought yesterday of a different way to do my spreadsheet. So, it's just an ongoing process or thought process where you're coming up with ways to make it better for you.
That's for sure. Now let's talk about the accounts, okay? In order to make your wholesaling real estate investing business set up, strong, what are the different accounts that we have and how can they use them?
So when you say accounts, are you meaning
bank accounts? Yep.
Yes. So we have a number of LLCs, whether it's together or whether it's with other partners. So we tend to stick with the same bank first because you develop those relationships with those bankers,
right?
Which is so important.
For sure.
So we have our accounts set up by LLCs. So each LLC has their separate checking account, has their separate debit card, separate checks, if we have checks for those.
For sure.
And that's so important because as you are navigating through the year with expenses and purchases, you want to make sure that you're using that particular account.
Boom.
For those particular purchases.
Exactly. Now, one key thing to make here, if you, for whatever reason, the way we do it, for whatever reason, if you haven't gotten a card, because real life happens up, you haven't gotten a card for that particular business or gotten checks for that business, then your one main business, our main business, or we call it our wholesale business, we have a checking account, we have a savings accounts, which used to hold deposits. Our property manager holds deposits now, and then we have a wholesale account. Typically, the wholesale account will actually pay for those things on behalf of those companies, and the wholesale account will bill back. So we'll send an invoice from QuickBooks and charge our other LLCs for those fees that we have too.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Super important. You just want to keep everybody responsible. So your LLC with this partner, money should come out of there. Okay. your LLC with this partner, money should come out of there.
Right.
Okay.
And your LLC with other partners, they will need to have access to those accounts.
For sure.
So
And that's your responsibility to get them logins.
Absolutely. So
For
as
sure.
you're setting up the accounts and you're submitting their information to the bank is creating you a login, and they're also creating your partner a login.
That's for sure.
And something else, before you can get these accounts for your businesses or for your LLCs, you want to make sure that you have your EIN number.
Nice. Yeah, let's talk about the setup of the LLC and getting the EIN, because that's extremely important.
So
okay,
important.
now because you typically set those up for us. Okay, now most people think, hey, they make like this big deal about setting up their company.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why it's like this big mental block.
Yeah.
Okay, and in a short 120 seconds, what do we got to do to get our LLCs and our EIN to set up?
Yeah, so basically you just want to go to your state, Secretary of State website, and usually it says start a business. Click that, and the process can now be done electronically.
For sure.
At least in our state.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is North Carolina. The process is very simple. I think it's a 3-page application, and it's very simple. It gives you instructions on. So if you're confused by what something is, there's instructions to clarify what that is. But the process is really simple.
You said that 4 times. I'm about to help you right now.
Yes,
So on that 3-page form, they simply
Yes.
want your name,
Yes.
your mailing address to where all of your business mail will go.
Your partner's
Yeah,
names.
and then your partner's name and what percentages of each partner is going to have in the company.
Their address.
And after that, literally after 6 minutes of writing, they want you to send a check. Okay, it's extremely easy. I don't like for people to say, hey, have you created your company yet? And 6 months later, they're like, no. This is a 10-minute process and a check.
And here in North Carolina is a very low fee.
Yeah.
I mean, my
$125.
$125, and
Yeah.
if you want to expedite that process,
Nice.
it would be about $215 or so.
Yeah. Yep. I think it was 215.
Right.
Yep. And the expedite was like 48 hours.
Yes.
So that's another thing. People are like, oh, well, do I need to create an LLC before I find a deal? Honestly, you can find a deal and create an LLC in 24 hours. So not a big deal.
But don't feel that you have to expedite the process, the application process, because they process just normal really quickly.
Right.
2 weeks or
2
so.
weeks. Yep, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, once we get the articles of organization, right, then we can go ahead and get our EIN number. Okay. Yep. EIN is super easy. IRS.gov. Get your EIN. Super important. Golden nugget. Download the PDF and get the mail copy. So get both. Because the mail copy may not come, for whatever reason.
Because we haven't gotten
Yeah.
most of those.
Right. So, but always download the PDF copy because it allows you to download it instantly.
So important.
Yeah, you can save it to your computer, put it on a Google Drive, put it multiple places because you're gonna need that.
Don't just snip the page.
Right, because I've done that.
It's not going to work if you're refinancing
Right.
or dealing with a bank.
Right.
They want to see the actual article.
They want to see the whole thing. So make sure
The
you
whole
save the
document.
PDF. Super important. So great. So once we got our LLC, we can then get our EIN, and then we can set up the bank accounts for each of the LLCs.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's good stuff
Yes.
there. Now, okay, real quick. I don't really think we got into operating agreements like that until we started working with banks.
That's right.
Because for years we're all private money and subject
That's
to
right.
and seller financing, but then during COVID we got into financing because just the interest rates was good and
Yes.
it made it easier to finance. So, and we had enough like assets. We had enough cash flow and stuff to really, we went for it. So I forget where I was going with that.
So the operating agreement.
Yep, the operating agreement.
And the
Yep.
personal financial statement as well are two really awesome documents to have.
That's for sure.
The personal financial statement, Swan, I don't know whether with you, but it
That was the first
blew
time.
my mind.
That was the first time I ever
When we-
done one.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it blew my mind after you have everything on that one document and you're looking at your
Right.
the overall picture of your business.
Right. And so explain what the personal financial statement is, just for everybody, because I didn't know. When the banker first asked us, hey, can you send me a personal financial statement? I'm like, I don't have one of those.
It was like, what does that include?
Yeah, right.
What's included in this particular document? But basically, it gives the partner's information.
Explain what information is.
So your address, and I think we probably may have put our contact information there.
Exactly.
Email, telephone number. We may have put that up there. But then it also asks you for your personal finances, your home, your automobile, different things like that. But then you go into your portfolio of properties.
Right.
Which is tremendous. I mean, you list all of your portfolio properties there.
For sure.
With
how much you owe, and then and how much they're worth.
Right.
It really lays out like your net worth.
Yes.
Yeah, it really lays out your net worth. And I think at that time, that was the first time we did it together.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had done it before, like right when we had got to about like 12 properties. I think that's when I had woke up in the middle of the night and had realized we had over $1 million worth of property.
Right.
But when we did that personal financial statement together, I'm like, yo, that's a big number.
And that's a good point too. Some banks will ask you for your business financial statement or your LLC financial statement, meaning all partners on one. But then some will ask you for
separate.
So
For sure.
that was something that we recently learned.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Super good right there. So look, I actually have a template personal financial statement. Okay, so if you guys want the template personal financial statement, if you'll just go to my website, thisismetakinaction.com, go into the about section and just write personal financial statement, and my assistant will send you like a blank template, so that way you guys can start filling that in for yourselves. Almost like a mandatory to start getting business purpose loans. Okay, now this is good. I'm feeling this. So outside of once we got our LLC and whatnot set up, and we're actually doing the business now. Like we're getting deals under contract. How can we make the back end easier? Because while we were doing, I'm gonna give it away here. While we were doing direct deposit, I saw some of my friends writing payrolls and checks on Fridays, and I was like, y'all writing checks for payroll? That's not cool. So could you tell everybody how we pay the payroll?
Yeah. So most people don't realize that their banks has a payroll system that you have to pay just a little fee.
Yeah.
Well, for the work that's needed, I would consider it a small fee.
But it's good though, because it gives you the totals for everybody at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
It just makes it easier. And also for the guys who work for you, they actually have like a way to get stuff financed. Because I think every entrepreneur or every 1099 contractor, they don't have like a real way to see how much money they're actually making. They're just getting money and spending it. Right. But when you get paid every Friday, right, and you have a way to keep track of it, and then at the end of the year for taxes, we can go into a system and log in and say, hey, we paid this person this amount of money. It makes it a business at that point.
Absolutely. And it shows as payroll.
Right.
It shows as payroll, right? Not just as me giving you money.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's for sure. I love that. I love it. And last things last. Okay, one thing that we're still getting better with is we actually kind of plan. Every year at the end of the year, we go back and we look at what we accomplished. Right, so we look at the deals that we did, how much money we made, and the things that we accomplished that we wanted to accomplish for business and for personal.
Right.
But then we also go and we create new goals. Okay. I think you had this mindset before I did, because I remember talking to you on the phone. I was walking. We didn't have an office or anything. I was still working from home. And I was like, Mom, I want to be a millionaire, And she was like, I am a millionaire, And I was like, no, I really want to be a millionaire, And can you talk about some things that people can do? I mean, in particular, I know there's like 3 things that people can like physically, tangibly do that I know that you gave to me, when they're like planning their goals and whatnot for the year.
Yeah, I think it's so important when you're planning your goals is to be realistic, but not limit yourself.
Yeah.
Because goals can be changed.
For sure.
You can adjust goals. But I want to be able to, as I'm writing my goals, I want to be able to see what I'm trying to get to. So I'm putting those goals down. You can break those goals into smaller pieces if you need to. It can be like a 1-year goal, and then you can have a 3-year goal, and maybe a 5-year goal. So that's probably one.
Yeah, and then talk about the vision board, and then also the letter, letter to yourself in a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was tremendous. I think you shared that with me.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You shared that letter with me, and the letter was basically you write out what or where you would be in a year.
For sure. Yeah, so you
date it.
Yeah, exactly. You date it from a year from today.
Yes.
Yeah, and so let's say you created your goals. First, you have to create your goals first, right? Personal, financial, spiritual, mental goals, right? And then next you create your vision board and you put it in front of you, right? And then in a year you write yourself a letter. So you date it. So today is February 2023, and we would write this letter for February 2024. It says, hey, I have accomplished these goals. Like you wrote it like, hey, this year was so awesome. If a trip with your family, to Florida was on your goal list, you say, me and my family, we had an amazing time in Florida. We went to Disney and we rode on the Fire and Ice roller coaster. You would write this letter to yourself as though it was already done. And then throughout the year, you would revisit your letter and you would read your letter, and it would almost break it down into your brain. It's like, well, how did I do that? And your brain would like start thinking, how did I do that? And later on that day, you would be doing those things to get to your future self.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would challenge people not to just occasionally read that letter. Make it a weekly thing.
For sure.
Because when I'm going out to look at my next week, I'm thinking about, these are my goals. This is what I'm setting for myself in a year. So I'm intentionally making actions to reach those goals. But that was powerful because I remember on my letter a few things that I put, and almost, I would say about 90% had come to fruition.
Yours and mine both. Yeah.
And one of those things where I wanted to make sure that I paid, this much in tithe. And I'm definitely tithes. I don't play with tithes, but I like to be able to give more.
Right.
And when you make more, you produce more, you can give more.
Right.
So I had a really hefty goal set for my tithes, and I remember when I did my taxes that year, my tax person said, my CPA said, you were really generous with your church. He was like, they really love you, I know. So make sure you do that letter. And the vision board is also good. Have that in front of you so that you can see it daily.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love all of that. Now, I want to invite you guys to check out her book. Okay. Just through the years of actually like working on yourself, mentally going at it, like getting to all of your goals daily, even when adversity comes up. She calls it mindful moments. So I'm going to share her book below, and I want you guys to go ahead and get that, so that way you guys can stay focused and help encourage yourself throughout the day daily. Now, just share how people can find you if other people want to connect with you as well.
Thank you. Please also connect with me where I share my mindful moments daily, mindful moments with Molly daily on social media. So I am on Facebook and I am on Instagram at mphelpsbelcher for both of those, and Twitter as well.
That's for sure. Hey, well, look, you remember, you don't need all 3 to do a deal: time, money, and knowledge. You just need 2 to do you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.